Instead of them telling you to stop it, they keep telling you, eat it in moderation, eat it in moderation. The crazy thing about moderation to me, if I sniff 4 ounces of cocaine a day, and I go to the doctor, hey, I need to stop. Do it in moderation. What he's telling me, I cut down to 2, kill yourself slowly. He ain't telling me to stop and leave it alone. He's telling me to kill myself slowly. So that moderation word to me means if it's causing harm or damage to your body, do it slowly. It's going to kill you, but it's going to kill you slowly. And I'm trying to tell you, stop doing it. Just leave it alone.
Good day and welcome to the Get Established Show. We're so glad to have you with us today. We got a great topic today. It is, you are what you eat. We're going to get into it. We got Chris, we got a special guest as well in the room that's going to be talking about this topic primarily. But I want you to remember and know when you start to hit that like button, that's the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification. It'll let you know anytime we post a message or a video or anything. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my brother, John.
Welcome. This is the Get Established Show, where we talk about community awareness and those things that go on in the community and building each and one another. All right, I am here with my co-host and fellow brothers in arms. I'm gonna start off first with my man D Jones.
Grand Risings, everyone.
All right, and the man on the board, of course, BI to the double G.
In the house. Great day, people.
All right. And my man to the side right there, as always, chilling in the cut, Chilla.
Grand Risings.
All right. And we have a special guest here, Mr. Dion No Flaws Boom. What it is, my brother?
Grand Rising.
All right. So, hey, we ain't gonna hold the people up no longer. All right, Chris, going on. Let's go.
My brother to hit, go ahead with the topic, Derek. Go ahead, rip that topic for us this morning, man.
From commercials on TV and schools they teach, understanding what you consume, you are what you eat. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Let's get it popping. I'm going to turn it over to my brother from the same mother, Chilla.
Yes, sir. Today we got some topics, some nice questions. And this is about community in the Black community. This is about health. We have a lot of people who are getting sick and dying from all type diseases, from diabetes to high cholesterol, heart disease. And, we want to take this segment just to talk to our people trying to change their way of eating and their health, because the food do affect our health. So we're going to start with the first question. The first question is, do you think certain foods we eat plays a big part on our health?
Absolutely. It is amazing how we start feeding our kids the wrong thing from day one. Just imagine. They prescribe our kids milk out of the womb from another animal. We are the only creatures in the world that drinks another animal's milk. Cows don't drink goat milk. Goats don't drink cat milk. Dogs don't drink squirrel milk. But yet, we give our youth milk from another animal. That makes no sense. And then we wonder why we deal with all the illnesses we deal with. Of course, we're going to be lactose intolerant. Why? Because we're not supposed to have milk. It's funny how people say, I'm lactose intolerant. Hell, we're all lactose intolerant. That makes no sense. But milk is in damn near everything we eat. You can look at the ingredients, and then you wonder why you deal with sinuses. Why you deal with congestion. Why we deal with different illnesses. Oh, I got a cold. Oh, I got sinuses. Oh, I wonder why I got phlegm in my throat. You drinking damn milk. It makes no sense.
Yo, Dion, what you got to share with that, man?
That's definitely the truth. A lot of it too got to do with we can ban our foods totally wrong. I mean, just like you were saying with milk and all that, but same thing with people with breakfast. I mean, combining fruits mixed with meats and dairy and all. It's like it's a recipe for destruction, because it's like you got so much mucus in your body after you eat certain foods like that. It's terrible.
But I'm gonna say this: a funny thing, the milk that we are drinking doesn't even supposed to be consumed from a human baby. It's supposed to be consumed from a calf. A calf is a big animal. So then you wonder why your baby started to be big and stuff. It's because you are giving your baby the wrong type of nutrition, which doesn't even supposed to be with us. I mean, this is the funny thing that we do because we was taught this. Not saying I'm not knocking anybody from anything they do. I'm not even knocking anybody for how you eat. All we doing is trying to give you a different perspective. And also just do some investigation. Because if you look at what you're doing to your body, we are damaging our body because what we consume, we are. Some of the food we even eat can even change up your DNA. You're not even looking at this. We ain't even got into the artificial stuff yet. So it's like anything artificial can damage your body. And a lot of times we just start consuming food, not even studying what this does to our body, because we so looking at these commercials and looking at TV and these doctors and these teachers educating us to eat this way. But the reason I'm talking about this, because it's a boom and health conditions. It just skyrocketed. So, Big, what you got to share on this?
Well, I got a question, man. How you get milk out of a cashew? Well,
you would ask something like that, man.
You would throw the matrix off.
Hey, look, they got. That's the thing. For people who are trying to eat healthy, they got a way of just trying to produce even nuts to produce milk. So it's like certain people who's lactose, who don't want to have these problems. They want, because they was raised drinking milk. They got alternate things now that they could drink this better. This means you got almond milk, like you said, cashew milk. You got what else? Coconut milk, which coconut milk is good. You got different types of milk that you don't have to drink, lactose milk from an animal. And it's like, that's good. That's a good question, man. Great question. Phenomenal question.
So that's okay to do, because I got some in the fridge. I kind of like it. I like it.
It's alternate things, but people don't even know that they could try without even just if you miss ice cream, you try, you'll be blown away. Even got butter pecan, man, and the drinks are good. You do not
on point. Trust that. It's on point.
I would like to add oat milk as well.
Yeah, oat milk.
That's my favorite milk.
So it's like it's alternate things we can do that's healthier than just drinking milk that's causing you to have gas, that's blowing up your stomach, that's also causing you to have mucus. Every time, some people are listening to this message right now. When you drink milk and your nose is clear and you don't have no sinuses problems and this, just drink a lot of milk and eat ice cream. I promise you, half of y'all nose going to be congested tomorrow morning. You're going to be coughing up mucus and you're going to have sinuses problems, because this is what type of stuff happens when you drink milk.
Well, not just milk. Let's think about it. Like I said, milk is in a lot of things. If you eat pizza and you love pizza, if you eat different pastas like lasagna and mac and cheese, if you are a big pastries person and you eat cakes and muffins and cupcakes, milk is in all of these things, and we don't even think about it. In the morning, you have to have milk in your cereal. In the morning, you also have to have milk in your oatmeal. So milk is everywhere. I'm talking about everywhere.
You didn't even say milk in a coffee.
Yeah.
People that morning Joe, man.
I like to throw in another thing that we eat that really it has no real value in there. Corn.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You consume corn and it doesn't even break down in your body.
Right.
Just go right straight out.
Yeah. It doesn't even digest well.
Right.
And you know what the crazy thing is? They have took certain animals out their habitat, like cows that used to eat hay and all this different stuff, and started feeding them corn. That's not even their natural foods. And this is the crazy thing. That messes the genetics of the cow. And then you goes there and get the meat. And your cow is not even eating its natural resources of food. It's been eating corn all its life before it's been slaughtered. And then, corn do cause issues, because a lot of consuming a certain corn is not even good for you. This is the crazy thing. If you eat a lot of corn and you use a toilet, do you know you still see the corn comes straight on out like it couldn't even process through your intestines, man. It didn't even change the nutrients in your body. It comes out like a whole piece of corn. corn. And people don't even look at this, man. That's crazy. You use the bathroom, hey, that corn didn't even process right. And it came out just like a piece of corn. It's crazy, though.
Check this out. For the people that say they want to eat right, the pescatarians, be careful, because corn, they feed it to the farm-raised fish. You need to pay attention to that. You want to, if you eating seafood, you want to eat wild caught. Because farm-raised fish, they're feeding corn. They're feeding corn because it helps the fish mature faster. Any animal mature faster, for that matter. So like you said, you want to pay attention to these things. You want, if you are a meat eater, if you do eat fish, you want to make sure that they're eating food from their natural habitat.
Yeah.
Now, that is true. And they have taken a lot of animals from eating out their habitat. And, you know, I want to go a sidebar real quick, man, before we go to the next question. Let's talk about protein, man. I want y'all perspective on protein, because I hear this a lot. Because even if I say I don't eat a lot of meat, I don't eat meat. I eat, you know, vegetables and fruit. Oh, you gotta have protein. Oh, you got to get your protein. And I'm like, and it be bothering me, because I be like, man, where in your Bible does it say eat protein? Then when God gave Adam, you know, to eat out the garden and eat the fruit, did he turn around and say, God, does it have protein? I can just hear God say, who told you that? Who told you about protein? Where did you get this word protein from? And it's like they program it with this stuff. And I want y'all to know, who don't know, gorillas high protein from what they eat. Elephants high protein, and they massive and they strong.
Yeah.
Meat that you eat the protein that they get comes from eating certain vegetables or certain stuff, leaves and stuff. Don't think your meat got protein naturally, because it doesn't. Because if you look at a cow, eat grass and stuff like that, it gets its protein from that. So why is you eating secondary protein?
Right.
Half of the meat you eat some type of vegetable or some plant thing to get its protein. So when you eat a meat, you eating secondary protein. So cut this word protein out. This word protein is, it's like y'all, and then you got the black beans got how much protein in it?
Man, I know it's like it's probably like 20-some grams.
Yeah,
protein. I know chickpeas,
it's
like
more
chickpeas
protein and plant-based foods than it is in your meats. And it's crazy because these people been taught this. And I remember when I was little, we didn't hear protein like that. It went from carbs 1 minute, carbs. The next thing, protein. And then it's like, you looking at these people, and when you study and realize where the protein come from, you look at these people like crazy, because the gorilla's strong as a mug. Yeah. And it's massive. I mean, he can beat down 10 mans together, and you can take all the protein shakes you want and try to go head on with 10 dudes and go head on head with a gorilla, and he gonna lose hands down. And that man ain't doing nothing but eating bananas and stuff, and he got mad protein in him. I don't know where y'all getting this illusion. I know these doctors telling you this stuff, but look, do your research. That's all I want you to do, is do your research. Start going on hand value, because people are getting sick just listening to these people. And this is a big industry when it comes to the medical field. They are, it's like it's cause and effect. So look, we're going to move to the next question. And the next question is, let's see here. Do you think the lack of finances play a big part on our health?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You can just look at different dynamics of the city you live in, you know, in Virginia and that Tidewater area. Look at Portsmouth versus Virginia Beach. Here in Atlanta, if you look at Southwest Atlanta versus Buckhead, and you look at just the surrounding grocery stores, there's no Whole Foods in Southwest Atlanta. Nowhere, brother.
It's a save a lot.
But check this out. but check this out. You know how many Whole Foods there are in Buckhead? You know how many Whole Foods there are in the city of Atlanta? You know how many Whole Foods there are in North Atlanta? But there's not one Whole Foods in Jonesboro, Riverdale, College Park, Marietta, Southwest Atlanta. So that tells you right there, the quality of food in the lower income areas is not the same. They serve garbage in the low income areas. You have to get in your car and drive for at least 20 to 30 minutes to get the quality food. Here in the Atlanta metro area, we have the DeKalb Farmers Market. And that's like the best place to get high quality food. But if you live on the south side, it's 40 minutes to get there. Now, I will say that the DeKalb Farmers Market, their prices are phenomenal. it's very affordable. But a lot of low income families don't have transportation, and getting there by bus is insane. You might add another hour to your commute. So they make it damn near impossible to eat right in the low income areas, because to eat quality food in the low income areas, you got to go to stores like Publix. And Publix versus a Food Depot, the prices are a tremendous difference. So if I got a $100 budget and I got 4 kids, I can only go to Whole Foods. $100 is only give me about 6 things. Let's be honest, because Whole Foods is a whole paycheck. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
So absolutely, and you got to think about it. Even in the schools, the food in the low income areas is different from the food in the other areas. We have a lot of charter schools in North Atlanta, and you know what? They have food catered for lunch versus the public schools in Southwest Atlanta, Clayton County, the south side of town. The food there, man, the kids don't even want to eat at school, man. It is horrible what they're feeding our kids, man. So we have to do a better job of figuring out. Our government needs to do. We need to force our government to do a better job of making sure that the low income areas have better quality of food.
All right. Let me speak on the options that they have. If you go into, like I said, a Save-A-Lot, Dollar General, Family Dollar, all you gonna find is a bunch of starchy, salty, sugary foods. You got doggone you go in there, they got oodles of noodles, you know what I mean?
Right.
Potted meat, all this processed food. It's all processed food, nothing fresh, nothing doggone that you can that's leafy or green or anything. It's all this stuff is packaged, processed, put up on the shelf so it can just go out because it's cheap. It's freaking and it's easily made in quantity so that you can go in that store. Hey, look, I can buy that. I can buy me about 20 packs of oodles of noodles, and I can feed my whole family for about a week off of them 20 or 30 packs of doggone oodles of noodles. They have no nutritional value. They have no sustenance for you. The powder ain't nothing. Them little freaking pieces of so-called dried up vegetables, that's nothing. It ain't nothing for you. But yet they promote that as something of value for someone to eat. They ought to be you know what? No.
You saying some good things, because the crazy thing is a lot of people don't even know how long it takes for oodle noodles to even digest in your system. It's not even you can't even get it doesn't come out normally. And the thing is, these are foods that have been how you want to say, they've been refined in a way that's not even natural for your body. It's cheap and it's easy to eat, survive, especially if you're in college and stuff like that, but there's no nutrients in the food. And your body, your organs, even your cells, it needs nutrients. And the crazy thing was, we've been taught to eat dead food instead of living food. Vegetables and fruits are living food. These are foods that regenerate your organs and regenerate your cells in your body. When you eat something dead, it's like a dead flesh. It's just no different when you eat food and you get tired and you start yawning. You don't supposed to get tired. You're supposed to get energized. It's the same thing like we make a scenario about a car. How would it feel if you filled out your car tomorrow and you go, you had to be somewhere and your car, you just filled it up and your car's like, I'm going to sleep. And it won't start. You're like, man, I done filled this joke up. That's how your body is. Your body's supposed to have fuel in it. Your body's supposed to have energy. The food you eat supposed to give you energy. It doesn't supposed to make you dead and comatose and you like, I got the rioters, and go to sleep. If you eating food is making you sleep, you eating the wrong food. That's your body telling you right now, this ain't even right for you. You supposed to be energized. That's why you're supposed to eat salad. Now you eat a good pork chop sandwich and you get sleepy, you can tell the effect. Just eat a thick pork chop sandwich and watch how you get the rightest. We eating all the gravy and everything. And then the next day eat eat a bunch of salads and then go to work. You'll see your body is telling you, look, this is what we need for fuel, because now you got energy. You ain't lazy. You ain't tired. And I make the same reference when I talk about a car. If you got a Mercedes-Benz, and this is how I look at food. If you got a Mercedes-Benz and I tell you, look, I got some gas with some sand in it. And I said, it's the same thing like nutrition of food, because this is like bad food. You can be like, nah, I ain't gonna put that. I don't want to put no gas with no sand in my Mercedes-Benz. But that's how we looking at food. Bad food is the same way. If I tell you I got oil, but it got clay in it, and I say, put this oil in it, it'll help your car. You're going to say, no, because it'll mess up my car. That's crazy, because you love your car more than you love your stomach. And that's, to me, that don't make sense to me, because you can get a mini Mercedes. You can work hard to get another Mercedes, but you can't get another stomach. You can't get another body, man. You got one body, and you need to treat your body properly. You need to put the best fuel in your body. If your car take high grade gas, you need to put high grade food in your stomach. This is what makes us live longer. This is what gives us energy. This is what causes us not to be sick. The problem, we sick because we eating bad food. To see the thing, when I say artificial, why would you put anything artificial in your body? You ain't gonna put no artificial, not working good gas in your car. So why would you put artificial food in your stomach? These people are getting rich off us, and we are getting sick because they have trained us to take artificial food. It sounds crazy, because we supposed to eat stuff that's naturally from nature, that was made by God. When you got stuff that's processed, it's like a Frankenstein, man. And then I'm gonna talk about the seedless stuff. It's like a seedless grapes to me. It's like a human without bones, man. Can you imagine walking up with a man that's bones and flat and can't stand up because he have no structure and he talking to you? You're going to look at him like a freak. So when I hear you say something about seedless grapes, seedless watermelon, seedless oranges, to me, this is not by nature. This ain't by God. This is by some man in some science laboratory trying to genetically change something. We have been eating food that's not right for us because we accepted it. But we need to get back to your garden again. We need to get back to growing our own fruits and vegetables. This is a problem. And Big, what you got to share about this, man?
Man, one thing about what you're saying is from the economic standpoint, I know growing up, it seemed like everybody had a garden.
Yeah.
Everybody in their backyard, they had a clothesline. And, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We dry. Everybody got dryers. You ain't gonna see nobody hanging their clothes out. I mean, if you see it, it's an anomaly. It's like you snap back to the 1950s. But the economic standpoint, like what you're saying about the car, the difference is, like you said, what if I tell you this gas got sand in it? Or what if I tell you this oil got clay in it? The thing is that nobody's telling these people that the food is bad. They're growing up under the impression that this food is good. So your message today is powerful to be able to have this. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, man. Like for me growing up, I'm 6'3" on a good day, 6'4". Okay, I stopped drinking milk probably around 2. Played sports all my life, never broke a bone. Okay, never broke a bone because they were saying that, milk, you got to drink milk for your calcium.
Right.
Don't eat eggs. I stopped eating eggs. My mama, I'll never forget the last day she gave me eggs. She tried to feed them to me. I was spitting them. I was about 2 or 3 years old. I was spitting them in my mouth. It was so disgusting to me. And I don't know why. I mean, I don't know if it's something inside of me to just deprogram myself from that stuff, but I don't eat it. I don't eat eggs. I don't drink milk. I drink the almond and other milk like that. Don't even do chocolate milk because all of it's the same. But the economic standpoint is now when if you go around to the newer neighborhoods, if you notice the yards are smaller. So you get more house.
Right. Right.
For people to build a garden, you need some land. You know what I'm saying? So that could be an impact as well from what we used to do to what we do now. And then now everybody busy. I always say, man, typically in America right now, dad used to go out and make the bread. Mom would stay home and deal with the kids. Now, then that was one income. Now you need 3 incomes. So you got mama working, you got daddy working, and then somebody got a part-time job. If not, both of them got some part-time hustle going on. So where's the time to be able to put? Because when you build a garden, it takes time to nurture that. That's like you have to take care of that like you take care of a very fragile individual, because what's being produced is so important. It takes time to be there, and if you don't have the time to deal with it, what do you end up? Running to the grocery store to get this, running to the grocery store to get that. And you know, my problem is now I've had conversations with y'all about all these different types of food. And they label things so it's confusing. There's all these different terminologies that may make you think I'm doing a better job, I'm doing something healthy. But it's how they label it, and it's allowed to be labeled a certain way to confuse you. So I was going to ask Dion about, because I know when we opened the conversation, you said something about the combinations of food that people are eating wrong. Can you give us some combinations that are beneficial to the way we eat, even if, like Chris said, the seedless food, and I know that stuff is not what we want to eat, but if they eat that, eating it in the wrong combination is even worse when you're eating it.
Right.
Can you just give us some combinations for, I ain't trying to, break down every meal, but like, give us a combination for breakfast, lunch, and a combination for dinner.
When it come to like one of the biggest problems, man, and why people's digestive system be all messed up is fruits digest so fast. Like fruits digest 15, 20 minutes. And so just think about this. A lot of times, say you have a get together with the family, and everybody eat meat, everything else. They'll have the fruits. They'll have a fruit tray as a snack. But they don't sit here. You don't eat ribs, macaroni and cheese, collard greens, meatballs. You don't eat all this stuff that takes days to digest. And then you'll eat watermelon, which watermelon digests instantly. So you'll eat watermelon, you'll eat grapes and strawberries and all this on top of the meat and stuff that's not going to digest for days. And then the fruit is basically going to ferment on your stomach.
So basically, we need to eat the fruit first, let that pass. And if
absolutely
you get other stuff, eat it behind it instead of eating it in front of.
Right.
Behind it.
Yeah. Fruits always should be fruit should always be your first meal of the day. You shouldn't eat nothing but fruits and drink water.
So
that should be your first meal.
So Dion, even in a situation, because I know a lot of people put fruit in like a whole grain substance like oatmeal.
Right.
So that's
good.
That's not good, guys.
No, because it's done been people that got DUIs because once again, like I said, that ferments on your stomach. So you eat some oatmeal and then eat it with some watermelon, and you're a fellow breathalyzer.
Whoa.
Because that basically turns into alcohol. Remember, you got acid already in your stomach to break down your foods. So that's going to already ferment and turn into this straight acid in your stomach.
Interesting.
So you got that part of it. Like I said, we've been trained to think that a fruit is a snack. No, fruits is meals. Like Chris was saying earlier, look at what the gorilla eat. That's the closest thing to man as far as the way they digestive system are. Like you look at a lion, they got a short GI tract. So their body is to eat meat. And that's why they eating bones, flesh, all that. They getting that adrenaline from the animal, and it digests very fast. With us, our colon and our intestines and stuff is 20 to 30 feet long. So yeah, it's all wrapped up when they show you the human body is all wrapped up. But when you actually stretch it out, it's 25, 30 feet. And look how long, just think about how much stuff can be stored in there that's not digested and all of that. And so that's why people, when they talk and saying, no, we can eat meat and all this, but really our body is really designed for things that digest fast, like fruits and your vegetables, your salads and things like that.
Hey, D, break down about the meals, like if you eat 7 days a week real quick for people.
Whew. I had this all the time. Like people come to me and they'll talk about using the bathroom. I was like, oh man, I'm regular, man. I go every day. So I asked her, I said, well, how many times you go? I go one time. And so I get them to thinking, because I say, okay, let's just use a week as an example. You eat, for 7 days, you eat 3 meals. Not even talking about snacks, just 3 full meals. That's 21 meals. You have 1 bowel movement every day. That's 7 bowel movements. So where are the other 14 meals? Now you see how quick things get backed up in your coat. Now just think about that. You 40, 50 years old. You've been doing this all your life. So when you tell somebody like, man, you got years of undigested food and stuff in your intestines, they look at you like you crazy because they go every day. And they don't understand, like, man, you just getting out old stuff. You ain't even getting out the new stuff you eat.
And you know what's so crazy? Like, I got a dog. Every time I feed my dog, he uses the bathroom. It's no different than a baby. You get a baby 3 times a meal. The baby use the bathroom. But it's some humans that don't even use the bathroom but once a week, man.
Yeah,
We ain't even talking about once a day. Some people every 3 days, every 4 days. It's some people, and they think this is normal because they've been doing it so long, not knowing that all these meals, like you saying 7, you eating out a week, you got 7 meals, 7 days, and you know, like some people eat 3 times a day and they don't use the bathroom but once a week. So now you got to realize that's 21 meals in their stomach, man, and they go once a week and they use the bathroom. Woo! And then you wonder why they in there all day. It takes me 30, 40 minutes to use the bathroom because you ain't using the bathroom like you're supposed to. That's like a clogged up car. But even this, I won't even say this. We were talking about finances. Now, you got to look at it. People in certain situations, and I've been in that situation. I would go, I'm not even gonna name these places, get these cheap burgers that ain't but 99 cents because of my finance. And even though I didn't want that, I was hungry and I would eat it. And then the crazy thing is, like, some of these places, I ain't gonna call their names out, but you can take their burgers and you can put it in the garage and the bread won't decay, won't get mold. The burgers will not mold and anything. You can sit the burger on your table for a whole week and it become furniture. It would not have mold on it and it would not spoil. It would not even stink. So now, if you take these cheap places that sell these burgers for $1.99 and it don't have no smell, because I mean, if I put some raw food in my house, it's gonna stink. It's gonna have an odor. They don't have odor, the bread don't mold, and it don't stink. But this is what's going in your stomach. And I'm real compassionate about this because I'm seeing a lot of people getting sick in this day and time, and their health is very vital to me because the food they're eating is making their health bad. I want y'all to get your immune system up. I want y'all on vitamin D. I want y'all taking vitamin E. I want y'all taking magnesium because this is right. In this day and time, what's going on, we need our immune systems up. So when we talking about the food plays a big part because it tears down your immune system and your body is having issues because you putting artificial stuff. Because I'm that same dollar burger I'm talking about, if it ain't molding, and the bread ain't molding and the meat is not spoiling and it's not stinking and it's sitting there in your garage for a week to a year and it still ain't changed, then that's something ain't right. It don't supposed to be in your stomach. This is not by nature. It ain't created right. God ain't make it, but you're putting it in your stomach because it's cheap. And we putting a lot of artificial food in our stomach because it's cheap. There's a lot of GMOs. GMOs means general modified. So what you're looking at and putting in your stomach is not good. But look, we're gonna move on to the second.
Okay,
go ahead, Dirk. Go. I want all the information we can get on this because some people might not want to hear this, but some people gonna listen to this. And we need to make people think. The whole objective, I'm not trying to change your perspective, but I want you to have the information. As long as I give you the information and you find out on your own, that's good. We just trying to give you information because I know I done had sleep apnea. I done had high blood pressure. I done had acid reflux. I mean, I had acid reflux so bad. Every night I would go to bed, it was coming out my throat and my nose. I couldn't breathe. I mean, I had even COPD. I couldn't breathe because I was laying on the bed because of my chest felt like somebody was sitting on it. All this because of eating. And I started churning because our church at one time had us doing a Daniel fast some years ago. And I did a Daniel fast, and all the acid reflexes went away. All the my greasy stomach being sick went away. A lot of my elements went away in 21 days. And I'm like, man, I ain't had none of these problems. And then I went back after eating all the good fruit and vegetables and all that good stuff. I went back eating meats, and it came right back. Bam, just like that. Then the next year I did, and I just stopped eating certain stuff because I realized it was the food that was making me sick. It was the food that was making me sick. It was the food that was giving me high cholesterol. And the crazy thing about high cholesterol is this. People who eat fruit and vegetables don't have high cholesterol. High cholesterol comes from eating meat and cheese and stuff like that. You cannot get high cholesterol eating nothing but fruit and vegetables. It's impossible. They're not telling you this. It's impossible. If you eat meat and eat all this dairy and all this cheese and stuff, you're going to have high cholesterol. Instead of them telling you to stop it, they keep telling you, eat it in moderation, eat it in moderation. The crazy thing about moderation to me, if I sniff 4 ounces of cocaine a day, and I go to the doctor, hey, I need to stop. Do it in moderation. What he's telling me, I cut down to 2, kill yourself slowly. He ain't telling me to stop and leave it alone. He's telling me to kill myself slowly. So that moderation word to me means if it's causing harm or damage to your body, do it slowly. It's going to kill you, but it's going to kill you slowly. I'm trying to tell you, stop doing it. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Find something better to do instead of doing the things that's causing harm to your body.
So
There's something else to say, Derek, real quick.
I got a couple of points. To cover. I mean, you just made me think about another point. I was just going, But anyway, people have to realize when you talk about modern medicine, you have to look at it like a business. And when they run a business, they're all about profit. If you go into a shoe store, that shoe store is not going to stay open if they're not selling any shoes. So what makes you think these hospitals, these doctor offices, these medical institutions will operate without money? So, of course, that they want you to keep coming. It's not about fixing the situation. I mean, if you could buy a pair of shoes that never wear out, how many pair of shoes would you buy? At some point, you would stop buying shoes. It's the same thing with these medical facilities. If they fix the issue, then you're not going to keep coming. So you got to remember that. Anytime you go and you get information from these doctors, these nurses, you got to remember, at the end of the day, it's about profit. That's number one. Number two, mental illness is a big thing that they're talking about in the world now. People don't know where that comes from. It comes from what you put in your body. You think about the trauma that these animals go through when they're being murdered. Do you think that just goes away? No, if you're eating this animal and this animal was stressed, this animal was dealing with anxiety, what do you think is going to happen when you digest that animal? That's going to transfer to you. But people don't think about that. They just like, okay, my child is depressed. Well, it's been a clear indication that something's going on. Your child hasn't always been depressed. So where did this come from? And we don't think about what we put in our body can change how we are emotionally. So I just wanted to drop that nugget, those 2 nuggets, so people could think about that.
You know what? Yeah. Go ahead, Dion.
Yeah, the really piggyback off of what Derek said. I mean, you look at the whole medical system. Like, why have your mother, your grandmother, and family members? Why they been on the same diabetic medicine for 40 and 50 years? Like, why you got family members that's been on dialysis, for 40 years. 40 years you've been on dialysis, no improvements. And all they can simply tell you to cleanse your blood, because that's what they doing. So they can simply tell you to use herbs and cleanse your blood. But like what Derek was saying, like, you wouldn't be back.
Yeah. Let me piggyback on Andy because I was sitting here thinking, what you'll find, go to the doctor, your doctor has no conversations with you typically about your eating. they'll say eat a heart healthy diet. They'll give you a piece of paper that's been copied 1,000 times where it's slanted to the left and it's faded on here and this and that, which means they ain't following it. But what happens is this is part of a much bigger machine, because you may have somebody that actually has really well-intentioned doctor, but they can only teach you what they've been taught. They can only instruct you on what they've been taught. This is a bigger system than what we're talking about. So this conversation today is very, very, very important. And I hope people lock in and then start doing some of their own research. And
Definitely.
I move around a lot. So sometimes we make excuses. And people like me that's really, really, really busy, we have to be deliberate about what we feed ourselves. Because I'm out and I'm busy. I'm gonna grab something because I'm hungry. I've been trying to do better with carrying stuff with me now, but depending on what the temperature is, too cold, too hot, you don't want something to be that you have and you spoil. But you have to be deliberate about what you put in your body, because the medical system is waiting for you.
Yeah. This is a business, man. This is a thing. This is a business. Go ahead, Raymond.
Now I was gonna go back to the the distressed animal. I can say about I visited Smithfield, the pork factory there, packaging factory. I just remember when they would hook the pigs on a hook and just have them roll around on a conveyor, and you got one guy that has a big knife and just like slash right through them, guts and everything fall out on the doggone floor. You know what I mean?
Man.
You looking at this and you thinking, okay, well, how can this facility be, that clean with all this blood and stuff going around, and then you not how can you clean the hooks and all that stuff like that they even have them on when they just going, the system is going boom, get them out, go to the next one, boom, 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 all this stuff, all this stuff is not being cleaned on a regular basis. So it's like the facility that even deals with preparing the meat to be taken care of, is you got to deal with those issues that go on there as well.
Yeah.
I want to tell you something that's crazy, and I didn't think about this when I was talking. Kobe beef. They say that's like the best beef to eat, because these cows, they literally live a great life until they're slaughtered. They're massaged 24 hours a day. No, seriously, man.
I think I heard this before.
No, seriously.
I heard this before.
And they're saying this is like the best beef to eat because these cows live this wonderful life. It's non-stressful. They sitting here massaging a cow 24 hours a day. The cow is just chilling, living the good life, feeding it the best food, high quality food, making sure that, this is high quality beef. But yet they could take another cow, slaughter it, and the same steak comes from that. And they saying that the Kobe steak is better than this steak.
I'm gonna say two things. One of the things, because you got me off my, I had something else in my mind, but what you were talking about in this. I want to say this right here. The craziest thing is, like you saying, the Kobe beef. If you got a nice cow that was just slaughtered right then and there, and you don't season it, it's not good. Now you could take a cow that got tumors on it and might have been injected, it might even have cancer and all type stuff, slaughtered in it, or a piece of chicken the same way. I'm gonna just use a chicken because a lot of blacks can relate to chicken. You can have a fresh chicken. I mean, just got his head cut up, and somebody cook it and don't put the right seasons on it. Ooh, this nasty. But it was a fresh piece of meat. I mean, literally just killed. Now you can have some chicken that's got all this problems and tumors and maybe have cancer. Now it's been slaughtered maybe. And this is the crazy thing, because we don't know how long the meat been dead. The meat might have been dead a year ago. It just been frozen. It might have been dead 2 years ago. It just been frozen. Then when they bring it out, then they put it out for you. So now you eating a meat that's already been frozen, been tumorized and everything. But it's good. Why? Because you put the flour, you put the seasoning on it, and the problem is, I want you to to understand, it ain't the food you addicted to, it's the taste.
Yeah.
You
Them
just like a
seasonings.
crackhead. Just like a crackhead. You going back to wherever place you done ate, looking for that first hit, that first taste that you ever got. It ain't even a food. Because like I said, you can have the best piece of chicken that just got slaughtered, or you can have a tumorized chicken that's been frozen for over a year, and somebody season it, and it's the best piece of chicken with the flour, but it's the taste. Because when you go back and you be like, it didn't taste good today, because you're addicted to the taste. It's your taste buds. You're looking for that adrenaline high from what you eat.
Chris, you're gonna make me get off this podcast and go fry me some green beans.
But like I said, this is just crazy because we passionate about this. And I'm gonna move on because something else was in my mind I wanted to drop. But we're gonna move on to the next question. The next question is it important for people to look at the ingredients on the back of the label of the food that they get for health purposes?
Absolutely. I'm one of them people. I will stand on the aisle and read the back of everything up there. And they'd be looking at me like, man, what this dude doing? Just a box or whatever. But I look at because you got to look at all these hidden ingredients, man, like sugar. They got it hid in so many different ways. You got sugar cane, and you got the high fructose cornstarch, which is the #1 killer, because that's in everything. And that's even in a lot of your processed vegan food. You know, that's the trend now.
Look, I want to help you with some of the sugars. You got glucose, you got fructose, you got sucrose, you got maltose, or something like that, lactose, starch, you got fructose, corn syrup, you got fruit juice, you got raw sugar, and you got honey.
Yeah.
These are all, and it's more than that, but this is what they put on the label. So you thinking when you see one, you don't, even if you see maltose or lutose or sucrose, you thinking it ain't sugar. So it's like, avoid sugar. No, they ain't saying sugar. They saying code words. So it ain't nothing that you eating and don't have sugar. Understand that. From pasta to bread to cereals to milk to everything you got sugar in it. Even cigarettes got sugar in it. They making sure you getting plenty of sugar. You cannot even, if you understood what I just read to you and you go in a store and you are trying and the person tell you can't have sugar or you will die, you going to realize these people been trying to kill you the whole time. When you pull up the sheet with names, all these artificial names for sugar, you going to realize it won't nothing you taste it. I wouldn't care if it was a Pop Tart. I wouldn't care if it was mashed potatoes. I wouldn't care if it was whatever you got. It got sugar in it. Go ahead.
Because that's why you addicted to it. I mean, even your alcohols, your wines, your liquors, same thing. Exactly. Just like the cigarettes, same thing. And that's really the issue. And then you got all your dyes. You know, you seeing yellow this, 5 this, and people don't even know what that stuff is. And it's like, it's a chemical. And you realize why you addicted to food. I mean, for one, we eat too much. When it comes to the standard American diet, which look at what is, if you abbreviate it, SAD, standard American diet. And when you look at that, man, we eat too much. I mean, I remember being little and like in the churches, they used to fast. It's like, now you can't even get people to fast. You tell people like, man, just go on a fast like 3-4 days. No, I can't do that. No, I can't. No, I got to eat. And I'm like, hey, man, but you following somebody that really fasted 40 days and 40 nights. Look, this is you funny. Can't fast for 3 days?
This is funny when you tell them you don't eat meat. Oh, I can't do that. It sounds like a junkie. They can't even try to stop it. I can do it, but I can't do that. It's just like in your mind, right off of then, you can't even stop eating it. And people don't even know about yeast. Yeast and bread, man, I got candida. And a lot of times people say, I got sweet tooth. The reason you got a sweet tooth, it ain't even you, it's the candida in you that want you to eat that sweet stuff because that's where they live in your body. And then the yeast and all that stuff. And it's crazy because when you start learning this, you be like, man, how many people don't know? Because they'll go to the doctor and just do it in moderation. And I'm like, man, shut up with that moderation crap, dog. Because if something is killing you, man, just stop it. Forget the moderation. You know the moderation slowing something down, meaning just slow up the process of the things happening.
So
Go ahead, Dirk.
Well, y'all have pulled something forward in my brain because basically a doctor not going to tell people to use cocaine in moderation.
Right.
No, but these look, I'm gonna tell you, big sugar is in the cocaine family. Look at it.
Same family.
And kids are this is the same thing. It just don't numb you, but you still get the same high. It's in the coke. Is a very addictive substance in the cocaine family. Sugar. And sugar's in everything. So I look at it as cocaine is in everything. Because it's one of us sweet, one of us got them is numb. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
And it's the same thing with the cheese. I mean, it got an opium effect to it because one of the chemicals in there is the same. It comes from that plant. So that's why people, it's hard to stop eating cheese. People addicted to it.
Yeah.
So let me say this. We need something to help people. I don't know if we can come because I need a guide. Like reading labels.
So this is what I was going to say. I was going to address just that big. This is a lot of information for somebody watching this show. And you got to take baby steps sometimes in order to achieve your goal. You can't just go cold turkey. So I would implore you to think about this. Dion was going over the ingredients. The grocery store is pretty much every grocery store is set up the same. If you learn, this is step one. If you learn how to shop just on the outer part of the grocery store, because that's where all your natural products are, your produce, for you, the people that eat meat, that's where your meats are. If you could just leave her alone, the inner part of the grocery store, that would be step one, because now you're cutting out all those sugars. You can focus on your fruit, and you want to try to buy the high quality fruit. You want to try to buy, if you are eating meat, try to buy the meat that doesn't have the antibiotics in it. That's step one. You want to do that. You want to phase out all the chemically genetic processed food, and that's just shopping on the outer part of the grocery store. Then once you cut that out and you do that, because anything you do for 31 days becomes a habit. 21 days becomes a habit. Then you want to focus on, okay, I've gotten that out of my system. Now I can focus on eating more fruits and vegetables. Because if you can just cut down your portions of your meat to about this size versus a plate full of veggies, then now you're heading in the right direction. And then you want to eventually phase that meat out altogether. But you can't do, I know Chris saying just stop it, but a lot of people, it's just like heroin. You can't just stop using heroin. You can't.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this, you know what I'm saying? I won't just telling people to just stop, but a doctor, if you know something is killing you, he want to stop you off it. And the problem is, I feel like when you doing something that's killing you, and it's just like cigarette, you can't smoke no more, you can't drink, or you got this to your liver and this and that drinking. You need to stop, but the problem is they ain't telling you to stop. They're telling you to continue in your error when they say that. Just slow it down. Continue in your error. And a lot of people don't know this is error because we've been trained and conditioned to do this. It's like we've been trained to eat pig feet. We've been trained to eat neck bones. We've been trained to eat chitlins. We've been trained to eat stuff that cause high blood pressure. Your mama did it. Your grandmama did it. Your great-great-grandmama did it. And then this the sick thing, just like diabetes. Uncle Ray done died from diabetes, right? And all he had to do was just leave the sugar alone, change his habits of eating sugar, but he kept going with the sugar. Now, the craziest thing of all, he's dead. And you go to his funeral and y'all mourning, but then y'all should celebrate the funeral by eating, and you eating the same thing that killed Uncle Ray. Just killed him. You eating the same sweet sugar stuff, yams to death with all this thick syrup on it. You eating the same exact food that just killed your Uncle Ray. You just had a funeral, but the food there that killed him, you also eating too. And it's like, you're like, But this is stuff that people that we are conditioned to do without even thinking. Dad, what killed Uncle Ray? Well, he couldn't leave that sugar alone. Well, look, this good. It's nice, cool. This good syrup, Kool-Aid, and this good punch. Oh, good. Oh, man, them yams, all good. You eating the same thing that killed him. Doing the same. And then you go to the doctor, and they tell you got diabetes. Why? Because Uncle Ray, y'all eating the same food. Y'all, he was raised with you, or the grandmama was doing the same thing. Y'all doing, and then they talk about this is a genetic. No, it's not genetic. Y'all just eating the same food. Been doing it since you were a little kid. You doing the same thing your grandmama did, your mama did, and you doing it. Some of this stuff can be changed by just altering your eating, cutting back on certain stuff, learning what this stuff does to your body.
And that's the thing. Like a lot of people said, and even the doctor, they said that they say that you inherit some of these things. You don't inherit diabetes. You don't inherit high blood pressure. What you inherit is the diet.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the things that are causing it. If your grandmother ate a certain way and she's cooking for you, you're going to eat that way. So, of course, you're going to have some of the same problems that your grandmother had. So it's a big misconception when you say this runs in your family, because it doesn't. The thing that runs in your family is the diet.
Yeah,
You want to say something big?
Yeah, I got a question about two things. I'm just going to throw it out to y'all because all of y'all are much more healthy eaters than I am on a consistent basis. What are some good healthy snack choices? And for people that make that smoothie, what should they be combining to make it a healthy smoothie? Because just because you put it in a blender, obviously I'm saying after what we said about earlier, if you put in oats and fruit and all of these things into your smoothie, really you just got a mashed up bad situation.
Right.
What are some healthy snacks, and then how can people prepare that smoothie to be a fuel system instead of a food system?
I think that's why like a lot of juices, like if you have a juicer, I think that's a great option because you just getting straight juice. It's like you ain't worried about all of the other like what you were just saying, as far as the oats and all that stuff. You just get getting strictly fruit juice, 100%. And that's the healthiest juice you could ever have.
With the pulp.
Right, with the pulp. And it's preventive. So that's the thing, you won't get those. That prevents you from getting those elements that Chris was just talking about. And that's one thing. Smoothies are great too. But people do put the wrong stuff in it. You just want to keep your fruits together. That's the main thing. Even if you just eating the fruits raw. I mean, like I said, fruits are so powerful. Like I said, even with watermelon, even with your melons, all your melons, cantaloupes, watermelons, everything. You always want to eat those by themselves because they digest so fast that they'll even ferment on the other fruit. Like you eat some mangoes and strawberries and then eat a piece of watermelon, you still got an issue. So yeah, fruit combining is definitely, you don't want to mix like proteins and fruits. You got people that sit there and eat a bowl of nuts and then they'll go and eat some fruit. You messing your gut up completely. I mean, like I said, it's just like the fruit after you don't sit there and ate meat at the barbecue. So it's like all of that, none of that stuff combines with it.
So let me ask you this. Let's just go through a day's timeline. What should be the first in line and what should end? What should be at the end? If we were starting getting up in the morning, and we say, okay, we're going to start off today. We're going to do things right. We're going to eat in order. Give me an example of what in order eating is.
The first thing you should do when you wake up is drink water. That's number one. Drink water until you're ready to eat, your breakfast or what's really breaking your fast. I don't know where the word breakfast came from, but you really just breaking your fast because your body was fasting overnight while you was resting. And so basically you start off with water. After then you can do fruit or do a smoothie, but no, don't do coffee. Don't do a grand slam breakfast like IHOP and all that, because you're getting high cholesterol just in the morning time most of the time, because meat is only found in animal products. Nothing else. Your body produces cholesterol. We get high cholesterol because we eating all this food that's adding more cholesterol to the body. So that's the whole thing. most people get high cholesterol in a black family. You get high cholesterol at breakfast. Then you go on to like the places Chris was talking about for like the fast food places. You go in there for on your lunch break and all that. Like you just doing this throughout the day. So yeah, definitely start with water, fruits, smoothie. You can do juices. Lunchtime, that's really supposed to be your biggest meal.
Mm-hmm.
And most people got it backwards and think that dinner is supposed to be your biggest meal. That's supposed to be your smallest meal because your body really go in a fasting mode.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you put that kind of stress on the body before you ready to lay down and go to sleep? So really, you want to do a big, healthy salad. Something like that would be great at lunchtime. And, at dinner time or whatever, you can do steamed vegetables. You can do, healthy rice. You don't want to really do white rice, but some people do wild rice. Some people do brown rice, things like that, do steamed vegetables, kale, things like that. So, sweet potatoes are not bad. So you can definitely do things like that too.
One last question from me. Quinoa. Never heard of this as a child.
Me either as a child.
So what is that? Where did it come from? And is it part of a healthy diet?
Yes, it's very healthy as long as you sprout them. Same thing with chickpeas and things like that. All of the things like that, you have to sprout them. Even wild rice. That's why it takes so long to cook. But you definitely need to soak them like overnight. You definitely want to do that because if you don't, it will rip through your stomach. It's definitely not good for you.
And
if
that's
you
like
eat
you're
them
talking
not
about,
sprouted.
that's something like when people talk about they got leaky gut. A lot of people don't even know about leaky gut.
Yeah, really, when leaky gut is like basically when you have like a hole in your intestines, and so that waste start leaking into your bloodstream and all that.
Mm.
You go to the wrong doctor, they're gonna tell you got lupus or something like that.
Mm.
So, but yeah, leaky gut. All of this too, depending on no matter what you eating, our biggest problem is we don't detox.
Mm.
That's the real issue. You really should detox for each season. That's the easiest way to remember. So basically, every 3 months, do a detox, and I mean like a full body detox. That way, you cleansing your blood, you cleansing your gut, your kidneys, all your organs, and that'll help you so much because the main thing is what you don't eliminate, you accumulate.
Mm.
That's the main way to look at it. And that's the problem we having right now is that we're not eliminating enough. Like we was talking about the people with, going to the bathroom. They're not eliminating enough. So this stuff is building up and they don't detox at all. I mean, most people 70 years old ain't never detox, never.
What's the span when you do the detox, your seasonal detox? How long does that go? Is it 3 day, 7 day?
It's different ones, and a lot of people got a lot of different methods. I prefer to do it like 2 weeks. If you're doing like capsules or tinctures or something like that, I think 2 weeks is a good time span. But you got some people do smoothies or juices for a week. So you can take that out. Some people do fruit fast. I've seen people have chronic illnesses and do a grape fast or a fast on nothing but apples or just doing juices or smoothies, and they go back and those elements gone. And now the doctor trying to figure out, what did you do different?
Ate differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely ate differently. And like I say, these ingredients, because you got to look at the sodium in it. Because like at one time I had high blood pressure. And I had to learn real quick about the sodium because I met a gentleman in the store. I think he had a bypass because his arteries were messed up, and he convinced me real good. I think at the time I was in my 30s, and that's when I kind of started changing. And he was already like 56 or 57, but he just got out of the hospital and he showed his chest, and he like, young man, you don't want to go through this, man. You don't even feel human. How they crack your chest, and they had to do all this because this and that. He said, man, look at that sodium on the back of it. Because I would tell him I had high blood. He said, look, you need to pay attention. He said, man, because I didn't take my pressure pills. I didn't look at the food I was eating. I didn't look at the sodium. But he said, man, I wouldn't want nobody to go through what I had to go through, for them to crack your chest and redo all this and make sure you clean all this stuff out you, man. He was like, and it stuck with me, because I don't want that to happen. And a lot of people don't even realize the elements of them being sick, or they losing a leg or something, and we go to the doctor and they give us medicine, but it's alternate ways other than that, man. Just changing certain things that can help, man. And it's like, it's herbs out here. People are not starting to wake up and learn about herbs, but this is stuff that's been here from day one. And herbs also work. And I'm gonna tell you, I had issues, and I take herbs every day, and I'm telling you, herbs work. And I mean, you big. All us can vouch that herbs work. And the thing is, we got to learn how to eat, because this eating also plays a big thing in our health. Our health is like, what we put in our stomach. You can't help but feel like, what's going to happen. Because we need to start eating electrical food. Today, when you hear me say electrical, learn the difference between electrical and dead. Electrical and dead. Most times, electrical food carries a seed. It's a seed of life. We was taught about seeds of life. You want to eat stuff that has seeds of life, not something that has bones and dead. Bones and dead, you can't sprout a bone. I can't dig a hole and put a bone in, and another animal gonna sprout from that. But the same thing I cut up, man, they got a seed. I can put it in the ground and water, and I bring life back again. See, we eating death. So you got to realize what's going in your stomach is two things. You can put life in your stomach, or you can put death in your stomach. We was programmed to eat death. Anything with a bone is death. Straight cut death. Anything with a seed is life. They the two different sides of eating. And most people don't understand that. Even when they grab that book, and the book tell you about the seed and how you're supposed to live. And even God in the book tell you, said, let your herbs be your medicine, and your medicine be your herbs. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is in it. And it even tells you that your meat is your herbs, meaning your fruit and vegetables. Right. But we take it to the far extreme, man, and we believe whatever, something that we haven't had for centuries, because people used to live a long time. How do we fall from grace from going for 900 years and now you good if you at 60 or 70 dying? And it's people in other countries who eat this vegetation type food, and they live to be 150, 120, and they walking up hills and everything. And we one of the sickest countries is because of what are we consuming. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I was gonna talk about another form of sugar. And this is one of the most insane things to me ever. Toothpaste. I go to the dentist because I got cavities. Mm-hmm. And they talking about, you cut back on the sugar and all this, and they putting all this crap in my mouth. But then when I leave out, they gonna give me toothpaste with sugar. I'm brushing with the same sugar that just caused me a bunch of cavities. Yeah. And I'm like, hold up. And they got fluoride in it, which I ain't gonna get into that right now. But fluoride, I understand why some people think they very intelligent and I understand that part of fluoride. I'm not getting in that. But the sugar causes cavities. Why is you giving me something like a hustler, like a broke, like if I go to somebody who's a mechanic and he just does a nut, but he does a nut so I can come back? Why are you giving me sugar in my toothpaste when the same sugar candy I was eating with the same type of sugar gave me cavities? But I was like, we can get to the next question. But I mean, did y'all say everything y'all want to say about ingredients? Because it's very important. People need to know these words they cannot read. They need to understand what it is, man. It's just like, man, I even found out, we can talk about aspartame and soda. Aspartame is a form of rat poison. I mean, these are ingredients you need to know. Aspartame. Look up aspartame in the same sodas you drink. Aspartame is a form of rat poison. Understand that. Now, the same sodas you drink, you got corrosion on your battery. You can pour it and it takes corrosion. Is your stomach stronger than that metal on that battery? Because it's the same thing you consuming in your stomach, man. Acid. Yeah. Acid that eats away corrosion. I wonder what is it eating in your stomach?
Right. That burger you had last night. That burger you had last night. Yeah.
In a lot of countries.
Could be helping to break that down.
Yeah, but I mean, people got to look at this stuff, man, because you got to realize in the last 100 years, man, we became super sick. I mean, cancer wasn't strong like it was then. Diabetes wasn't strong like it was then. High blood pressure wasn't strong like it 100 years ago. What changed? What formats? I mean, we even got machines that giving us radiation food, man. We put real quick food, but it's crazy because in my delusion, I'm gonna say my mind. I'm not gonna go in no radiated field and put a burger out there. I don't care how hot it is, and take a stick and bring it back and eat it. Because I know it got radiation on it. But we are so, and even when they created this device, a lot of people perished making this microwave thing because they were trying to get the doses of the radiation to a certain level. Now, after a period of time using radiation food, you all of a sudden you got colon and all this type cancer, and you ain't question it?
Yeah.
Instead of using an old way, you want a fast way. And the faster things get, the sicker we get.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's like you got to question your life and what you put in. If you want to live anyway, question some things to make you live a little longer. If you don't want to live, keep in your ear. But me, I'm trying to live because I watched somebody dear to me die, and I had 100 questions, and I didn't even know why. And when we was in the medical field, I heard a bunch of lies because they lied in his face and they lied in my face. But let's go to the next question. The next question is, do you think commercials on TV and news reports they give us play a big part in our health?
Definitely. I mean, you know, people are going to look at TV. Of course, you're looking at your favorite shows, movies, blah blah blah, and in between those, they're gonna have those commercials with the food that you love, which is mostly sugar. They're gonna have the food that you mostly eat, which is meat. They're gonna always promote those two items all the time on every commercial, you know, other than some health thing they want to try to tell you that's gonna help you better than gonna eating a proper diet. You know, that's always what it's going to be. It's always pushing it. It's always a marketing thing that go to push or sell a product. And most of the time, those are things that they know you like and know that you want. So they're gonna push that on you. Push it. Yeah. Push it.
So you think they put us like on a hypnosis, or they just hypnotize us for a second? Because it's like you wasn't even fighting at that type food until the commercial come on. Oh, and then all of a sudden you get a craving and want to run out there and get it.
I mean, that's the suggestion.
I think it's a form of peer pressure. There was a movie that came out several years ago called Keeping Up with the Joneses. And what they did is they implanted this fake family in different neighborhoods, and the family had all the best stuff. They had the nicest car, the best appliances, the best lawnmower. They had all these things, and they would show them off to all their neighbors. And next thing you know, the neighbors would go out and get it. One neighbor even went broke trying to keep up with the Joneses. What's the same mentality with food? You know, you move in a neighborhood, you meet your neighbors, and one neighbor, he got the green egg. And he out there, it's cooking up the meat perfect. It's got the fish looking like this. You go over there, you like, oh, this is good. I'm going to run out and get me a green egg. Now you cooking stuff that you ain't never cooked before, this and that. So it's peer pressure. We see other people doing it. If you go to somebody's house and they're having an event and they are serving different things, a lot of times you may not eat some of this stuff, but you feel pressured to try their food because you looking at them and they're looking at you like, you ain't gonna eat my food? You think something wrong with me? So it's a form of peer pressure. And then a lot of times when you have these things, it might taste good to you. So next thing you know, you go home, baby, I was over there and Mr. Charlie had the pork chops seasoned like this. I ain't never really ate pork chops, but we should get some pork chops to try this. So it can be peer pressure, man. It's just like drugs. Like you go out and you don't smoke weed and your friends constantly smoking weed and they're like, try it, just try it. And then you end up trying it. Now you smoking weed.
That weed that y'all smoking,
woo,
it's been modified since early 90s. Yeah. When Snoop started coming out, make sure it ain't no seeds in it. Make sure it ain't no seeds in it. Half of y'all been born in 88 ain't never ever smoked real weed.
Nope.
Y'all been smoking some chemical stuff from the whole time. Y'all never had no real plant, great grade weed. I just wanted to say that because anything with no seeds ain't even real.
On television, social media, any form of entertainment can be viewed as peer pressure in my mind because people see things, and obviously they're gonna show you commercial. The burgers won't look perfect. The lettuce is gonna fall on the burger perfect. The sesame seeds on the bun are gonna look perfectly placed. Or the ice cream commercial, the ice cream is gonna look perfectly scooped, and then you're gonna have the fudge on top of it. All these things are a form of peer pressure in my mind. It's feeding the mind these positive images of things that can kill you, and we fall for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they advertise a lot of different food, and we go ahead and get it. But I wanted to ask you a question. Do you think the way they genetically created the food plays a big part on our health?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Anytime you genetically modify something that comes from nature, it's going to be a problem. I mean, do you think cloning another human being is smart? No, it's not. So why would you clone food? Why would you genetically modify food? Something that grows from the earth. If I take a potato that grows out of the ground and then I take a potato that's grown in a lab, which one you think is best for me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it does, and that's the thing. Like, so they're saying that we're running out of food. So what they're doing is they're saying that they have to genetically modify food to keep up with the demand. I tell you, last year on the Super Bowl, they were saying that there was a shortage of chicken wings because everybody was running out. They wanted chicken wings to have buffalo wings. They actually said that they were taking rats, skinning them to make them look like chicken to serve them as chicken wings. That is crazy, man. So you won't eat a rat, but you'll eat a chicken that some of these chicken companies are growing in 2 weeks. How do you grow a chicken in 2 weeks and then serve it to the public? That's genetically modified. That's what we're talking about. You're taking a chicken and in 2 weeks it's on your plate. That's all I got to say.
We're gonna we talking about genetically foods, So it's like they are making all these type like different type foods. Like I wanted to even say this when we were little. I remember the type fish we used to have. We might have like back then we were eating spots and different stuff like that. All of a sudden, like 2,000 trouts. I mean, not trouts, tilapia. Wait, I'm like, wait, I never in my life heard a fish with no bones. Where's tilapia come from? I never in my life heard of tilapia. Just like we say breakfast. I don't even know what breakfast is. Because even if you read the Bible or whatever, there's no such thing telling you about breakfast. It doesn't have for the food we eat. It doesn't even tell you to eat. I went and the first thing I asked myself, who told us that? Where did this come from? Who told us about breakfast? Who told us about lunch? Who told us about dinner? I read all these books. I don't see this. Who told us this curricula? Who told us this is how my ancestors ate? Because it's like, this is things I question, man. We can wrap this up, but today was about, our health. And, I think all of us have a concern about our health because, like I said, I was going through some elements and still maybe is, but I learned to change certain things in my life. And I mean, each one of us really got a testimony on eating. Like I said, I done had high blood pressure. I had high cholesterol. I was a edge of being a diabetic. I had sleep apnea. I had acid reflux. And a lot of my elements changed because of my eating. Even now, I still got to lose some weight. And I mean, because I'm going to tell you this now. Unless you're in the gym, that's my downfall. I'm not in the gym. But everything's good in my body because I eat a certain way and I take a lot of herbs. I take herbs every day.
So look, one thing I think we should, because I know we're about to wrap, we should probably ask the people to go out and explore. We go out and always go and trying a new restaurant and all of these things. I ask you to go out and try a vegan location. go and start maybe trying to explore your palate to see what's out there, because I go with these guys. They've taken me to places. There were some things I couldn't stand, and there was things I absolutely love, like would eat. It wouldn't matter that it's vegan. There's this vegan. Was that gumbo or chili that I had?
Gumbo, chili, both from. But y'all vegan. But y'all vegan got a good gumbo and chili.
That's here in it's
Portsmouth.
Right.
Portsmouth.
Downtown Portsmouth. And you got Desmond out there. And that's what, the beach?
Yeah, off of Indian River Road.
They got good mat. They got, Rasta pasta. They got even good crab cakes. I mean, both of them. Yon Vegan and Desmond, they great places to eat for vegan food right here in Virginia.
I would say just seek a location. Start maybe once a week, because we know you can't jump off the cliff. And I got to get myself back into. We're gonna go on this journey. I got my brothers here that'll help me out and keep me focused. But my biggest issue is packing, because I'm on the road so much. I need to make sure that I pack the proper foods and eat them in the proper order, like Dion said.
Or big.
Go ahead.
I would say this. It would be easy for you to start practicing fasting during the day, since you're on the road so much. I mean, you might have to use the bathroom, stop and use the bathroom, but you could easily start some type of fast, and during your break, you could have a healthy meal instead of.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the perfect world. It don't operate like that out in the field. It ain't no. I mean, it's not set up that way. But I'm gonna have to come up with something. I'm gonna talk to y'all. We'll talk. We'll figure it out.
And I was gonna say two good places that you can go. I was gonna say two things I would prefer. I would wanted to mention for people to watch. Is a documentary called Earthling, a little graphic. Another document that I think people should watch is called What the Health. What the Health. Y'all need to watch those. There's some good documentaries that might give you a perspective. If you haven't watched it, a good perspective of what you put in your food and things is going on. But, I'm going to let my brother wrap it up.
All right, let me just say this. I'm going to close the show with a couple of things. If you have a physician that you see on a regular basis, if you don't have a partnership with the physician instead of being a patient, then you need to find you a new physician. That's one. Because if he can't answer the questions that you have, and not treat you like you're like any other individuals, a lot of times these medical professionals treat their patients like they're a cookie, meaning they have this cookie cutter mentality. If this is going on with one person, this has to be what's going on with you. That's a problem. Number two, I said earlier, if you can start shopping and be a conscious shopper, looking at ingredients, making sure that you're buying high quality foods, that is very important. And start your kids off young. All right. Start your kids off young, eating correctly. Just because the doctor said that your child needs to be on Enfamil, ask questions, because no kid should be drinking another animal's milk. Now, with all that being said, I got one thing to say to you. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Get established.
Peace.
This has been another episode of the Get Established Show. Today's guest with us today, Mr. Dion Boone. We want to thank you for stopping through. Your insight was just amazing, brother. We appreciate you and the other brothers as well. We hope that you guys can gain something from this conversation and increase your health, because that's what's important. You got to have health. Your health is your wealth. And if you could remember to like this video with that thumbs up button, subscribe to our channel if you enjoying our content, and hit that bell notification so that anytime we drop a video, you know that it's happening, coming directly to you. So once again, for your internet uncles, we have done another show, and we hope you enjoy it. We hope to see you soon. Thank you so much. This has been the Get Established Show. I got a question real quick for you.
Go ahead, man.
You got a herb that I can get my beard to look black like Raymond's?
Again.
Hey, this is a recurring one.
Again.
Recurring one.
It's again. Indigo.
No, to eat, not to mix and throw on.
Oh, it is a herb too. It's supposed to change gray back. What was the name of Dion? I can tell you.
There's a lot on, but like rosemary is good. You'll see that in a lot of beard oils, like rosemary.
I can tell you two of them after we get all. I got to go through. Well, I can tell you two of them.
Hey, look, y'all. Look.
I mean, I know you're gonna edit this out anyway.
I ain't saying that. He's embracing his grace. Shut up.
I know,
Hey,
but I mean, he real.
Just learn how to embrace his grace.
Man. Papa Smurf, man, just embrace it, man.
Youngest, I want to look like the youngest.
Hey, look, shave it. I shave. Look, shave it. How that baby face, man? I got a baby face. Word. You know what I'm saying? Word. All right.